Here we go. Okay, great. Excellent, guys. Folks, we are live this week. Once again, our assortment of football topics sprinkled with a hint of blue cheese. I'm your host, Jono, over here in New Jersey. Across the river, over in New York City, is the good captain. Say hi to the folks, good captain.
Hello, people. Goodbye, Frank.
Okay. We don't have a street correspondent this week. We're heading down south to the Carolinas, and alas, our doctor is still fighting the good fight out there on the front lines of this COVID-19 situation. We hope for better days. And then we head further down south to the great state of Florida, to yours truly, Reef. Say hi to the folks.
Hello, everybody. Miracles do happen today.
Mm. Yes. Now, guys, usually we do an assortment of football topics sprinkled with a hint of blue cheese. But every once in a while, something happens to our blue cheese that we really have to take the whole bunch of it and smear it all over. So this time we're going to smear it all over and do football topics based on Chelsea FC. All right, so Monday, I'm going to say this. Let me start with this and say this. Guys, it takes great courage to be the manager of Chelsea FC. All right? It's not a matter of if you're going to get fired. It's a matter of when you're going to get fired. So in order to take the job, to start off with, it takes great courage knowing that you're going to be fired. It's just a matter of when. All right? It doesn't matter if you're a Champions League winner like Ancelotti, a World Cup winner like Big Phil, or even a legend like Di Matteo. All right. With that being said, this week Frank Lampard on Monday got fired. How say you, first of all, to the departure of Frank Lampard shift?
I'm sad. I really thought this was a change in the way Chelsea did things, that they would let a manager have a project. Now, I know he had absolutely lost the dressing room, right? You know what tells me that? That when he was fired, when Marina gave him the boot, he didn't go back to Cobham to say bye to the players. Every manager goes back to say goodbye to his players. And Frank didn't. So he had absolutely lost the dressing room. So
every manager that isn't a Chelsea manager, you mean?
Yeah. I know I'm used to this, but I, I might be sadder about him leaving than Jose, right? Like he was a legend, and we had a transfer ban, and he made the team play well. And the minute they backed him, it didn't seem like he got the players he wanted, right? Like he wanted Declan Rice, he wanted to shore up the defense. Werner was someone they were looking for a while. Havertz and Ziyech, they seem to be Marina buys. Chilwell's the only one that he really backed. So I just feel bad. Like what he did in the last year was great, but this year it seems he lost the dressing room and he had to go. But I'm just sad.
Reef, how say you to the firing of Frank Lampard?
Okay, first thing I want to say like that for Shiv. How much you know that he's lost the dressing room? How much you know? I know, not mean know from rumor, know from good sources that you know that he's lost it. Like I don't know if he did or not.
He lost the dressing room.
Huh?
He lost the dressing room.
Okay, usually things coming up after that, and people start to talk, and you're reading some stuff about it. But for me, I'm disappointed that he's left. I thought he's going to be, no matter what is the results of the season going to happen, let him finish the season. Let him finish the season. And we talked about it before that manager not going to get fired right now because it's a COVID time. But you know what? COVID, no COVID, is the second manager that's being fired. So I don't think it's the right thing that they fire him. In my point of view, I was very surprised. I mean, I saw that it's going to happen because I read stuff that Abramovich do not have patience for manager, and players that don't give him the results. This is who he is. That's what I read in the article for someone say. So what I'm saying by me saying like between us that we saw it coming, by me saying we saw it coming is Abramovich do not have a patience for it and you want to fire him. But in my point of view, you have to let him finish the season and do in the end of the season, not in the middle of the season.
Okay, let's put it this way. Theoretically, the state in which Chelsea was in with the players, the dressing room managers, etc., Chelsea could not make it to Europe for the European places this season. And that meaning not just Champions League, we may not, if he had remained in charge, we may not have made even Europa League. And a club like Chelsea in a time of COVID cannot afford not to make Europe. Even Manchester United cannot afford, we cannot afford to make, we cannot afford not to be in Europe every year.
But why you think that it will happen if Frank Lampard going to maintain a manager? Why you think like that?
Because one thing, again, I'll say it, he had lost the dressing room. The players had started to rebel against him. There was a reason why on the game against Luton, he made Mason Mount captain. One, he knew he was going. He did know, I promise you, that Luton game, that his time was up. Two, he wanted to say, these are my boys, and this is who I'm making. He had disregarded so many players. So many.
Yep.
Go ahead, Schiff.
I mean, I agree with you. Like Mason Mount being captain was him saying, "This is my boy. I had him since Derby, and I'm giving him the captaincy to show, like, he's the one who's performed for me." Yeah. From all the readings that I've done, it seems that from the City game, they had decided to let him go from that time onwards. And it was just about lining up his replacement.
Right. We were sitting and acting like a mid-table team. The odds of us making even the Europa League slots was in danger of not making it. We were in danger of not making that. And I tell you, I say it once again, Manchester United have 65 million sitting in the SEC in a vault on a bond. As long as they make more than that profit a year, they will not go, the debts that the Glazers have, they will not go into administration because that holds the bond there. So every season, even if it's Europa League, Manchester United makes Europe. After the year that Jose Mourinho lost us the ability to get into Europe, ever since then, every year we have to, as a sporting entity, make European football. Simple reason is this. It's not because of the fans, because now we don't have fans. It's the TV contracts. It's almost European football. It's almost like a Super League. It doesn't matter where it's being played. It's where people are watching. Whether you're watching it from China, whether you're watching it from Australia, whether you're watching it from South America, whether you're watching it from the United States. Chelsea has to be in those games. United have to be in those games. And believe it or not, now Arsenal have to be in those games. Reef?
Why? Okay. First thing, I'll tell you something like that. I know this manager managed PSG before he moved to Chelsea. In the past. It didn't work for about 3 months or 4 months after PSG fired him.
In December.
Why you have like so much confidence in the future and you see a failure in the past? Why you see a failure in Lampard and you have a confidence, one second, that this manager going to take us to Champions League or Europa League and we're going to qualify for the next one?
Schiff will answer it and I'll go next. Go ahead, Schiff.
So here's the thing, Yarif. You have a job, right? Do you think experience in your job matters? Being able to, in this case, right, he has managed Dortmund, he's managed PSG, he's got years and years of experience. Frank had 1 year of experience at Derby, and he hadn't even finished his coaching badges when he came here. I think he took the job too early. He did very well at Derby, right? But this was managing a big club with big personalities, and he thought he could do it because he used to be that, right? But you still need to have experience. Experience makes a difference. I don't think Frank's a bad manager. I think he was just inexperienced. He didn't know how to deal with the egos, with the players, with the dressing room. It's just, it's a job. He's a CEO of a company. A CEO of a company doesn't just know his product, he knows how to get the best out of others to make his product. And I think that's what Frank lacked. And Tuchel has shown that he can get the best out of the players.
Go
He's
ahead,
done that.
Maurice. You want to say anything before I jump in?
No, jump in. I want to hear it.
All right. Tuchel from his days in Mainz. All right. It's funny. Tuchel took over Mainz a couple of seasons after Klopp went to Dortmund. He got Mainz into Europa League football 2 whole seasons. Mainz, who are right now, are sitting at the bottom of the amount of times Mainz has gone back in the Bundesliga 1, Bundesliga 2 is unbelievable. When he was in Augsburg, he was the one that started Nagelsmann. When Nagelsmann had his injury, he said to Nagelsmann, look, I want you to become a video technician for me. Nagelsmann now is using the same tactic and the knowledge that he learned from Tuchel to now do Red Bull Leipzig. After he finished from Mainz, he then took over from Klopp from Dortmund. And until then, that time, Dortmund were heading right down to relegation when Klopp said, I want to leave, so to speak, before they fired Klopp, before he would have gotten fired. Tuchel took him over, took that team to the highest reaches. They didn't win it. They didn't win the Bundesliga, granted, but he did finish the German Cup, and then Cup. And then after that, he then went to PSG for 2 seasons. Within the 2 seasons he was at PSG, they won the league both seasons. They won the quadruple 1 season, and they got to the second season, they got to the Champions League final. He makes people better. He was interviewed for the job before Antonio Conte was even interviewed for the job way back in 2016. All right.
Well, you know what? I hear a lot of promising. That's what you're saying. From what you're saying, you know what? Let's see how things work on the paper.
I feel confident that this year we will get back to playing. We will qualify to playing some form of European football for next season, and that, believe it or not, is his primary objective. It's not about winning the league this year. It's not about winning Champions League this year. It's at this moment, we need to get back to those European slots. Mm-hmm. And the way we were going with Frank wasn't going to happen. Now, let me start breaking the myth of Frank Lampard. All right, guys? All right. First of all, let's get a couple of things straight and all about the use of the academy, etc., and so forth. When we had the transfer ban, right, the cupboard was not bare. All right. Left back, we had Emerson, Italian international. We had Alonso, Italian international. Move across to Rudiger. Rudiger is an Italian international. Christensen, German international. Christensen, Danish international. Zuma, French international. We can then move across to, Dave, Spanish international. The cupboard was not bare. Moving on to midfield, we even before midfield, we had 2 World Cup winners in our squad with Kanté and Giroud. All right, we had Jorginho, Italian international. We had just got Kovacic off loan before the window closed. We bought Kovacic. Okay, he's a Croatian. He was playing in the World Cup final as well with Giroud and The cupboard was not bare. All right, and then we basically were covered with internationals. We're not Newcastle. We're not Southampton. That if we put a transfer ban, Chelsea is closed. Now, Allegri didn't want to play. Allegri didn't want to be manager. He wanted to learn English for 1 year, come back, etc., and so forth, and then apply. So the job was given to Frank Lampard. All right. He had the help of Jody Morris, who for almost 3 or 4 years before that was the youth team manager. Chelsea's academy youth team and loan system is no joke. Gentlemen, it is no joke. Let me just give you a couple of examples, all right? And this is where the players are. Traore, he's in Aston Villa. You've seen him right now in Aston Villa, tearing it up. That's Aki is in Man City, academy from Chelsea. Lamptey in Brighton, academy from Chelsea. Van Aanholt in Crystal Palace. Bernard from in Southampton. Who's the lead scorer for Leeds United? Bamford, Chelsea. We can even then go on to our loan players. When we loan players out, we loan players. Mount and what's the name? Went to Derby. There were starters in there. Ampadu was a starter in Red Bull. Is a starter in Sheffield United. All right. But Ross Barkley, what is Ross Barkley doing? He was there the cupboard was not bare. Let's get this straight. If you know the inside track at Chelsea, unlike Allegri or anyone else, you would know from Jody Morris, the cupboard is not bare. We can do this. So people always say, oh, Frank had a transfer ban. Oh, we had no players. We had Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What is he doing right now? Starting. Fulham. We have players. Chelsea always have had players. Go ahead, Reef.
I understand what you're saying about this player of the academy that is evolved this player. And I know where you're going with that right now. I know where you're going with that because you're going to the direction that he's have enough player and they're going to spend another more money on it. And that's kind of like I think what is hurts the most. And that's what is if I'm looking from the point of Abramovich and looking on the situation of Lampard, he gave him like $250,000 in player. $250,000 in player, and the person cannot keep top flight. I'm like, it's kind of strange, you know. You have the best of the best. So I think I understand why it's kind of lost passion with him and fine. I kind of understand from this point as an owner of a club.
Yeah, so I will take a little bit of, I disagree a little bit with your point. No, not with you, with
me.
John. Yes, because yes, we have all these players that are academy. We have a really good academy, but there's a difference between starting for Fulham and wanting to be in the top. Like Loftus-Cheek, I love him. Barkley, I love them. They're really good players, but they're middle of the league players. We lost Hazard, our best player in that transfer ban, and we replaced them with nobody, with Mason Mount, who's done great.
We replaced him with nobody because there was a transfer ban. But what I'm trying to say, the cupboard was not bare.
I'm not saying the cupboard was bare, but at the same time, it didn't have a world-class player.
We had two. I just told you how many internationals we had, and then we had 2 World Cup winners, and then also the other midfielder had played in the World Cup final.
Okay, again, yes, we had very good players, right? Just playing for your country doesn't make you a world-class player. When I say world-class players, I'm saying the top 20, 30, 40 players, because that's what you need to make it to Europe. Frank making it to Europe in that transfer ban with the team he had was a great job.
Maybe perhaps he ended up tripping over himself. That's the reason why it became so difficult, because it wasn't that difficult. Apart from the fact that Liverpool were over there and City were over there, Man United, until they got Bruno was nowhere. We tripped over ourselves to the point that, can we make it in? Of course we can make it in. We have world-class players if the manager gets out of his way. The reason why Petr Cech was brought down, Petr Cech was in the field training with the team to try to get an ear to see what's going on to help him. He ended up tripping himself up. What I'm trying to say is that you have all of this talent. Roman, you're my favorite player. I'm giving you everything to do this job. And you're fighting with people and arguing and making bad decisions, and you're ruining it. You want money? I'll get you $300 million worth of players. Listen, Arteta can't get that. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't get that. Whatever you want, we'll get it for you. Just do the job.
But again, when you say whatever you want, do we know that Frank asked for these players? It seems that these players were already going to be coming into Chelsea.
It's always the case. He knows it's always the case. I'll give you an example. When Frank used to play, in the midfield was Ballack. In the midfield was Deco. In the midfield was Essien. In the midfield was John Miguel. All of the couldn't all fit. You only have 3 slots. But guess what? This is Chelsea. If Ballack is available, we buy Ballack. When Di Matteo was manager, he had just won the Champions League. Do you think he wanted, in number 10 slot, he wanted to have Hazard, Oscar, and Juan Mata? If you can't figure them out and how to play, get out and we'll get another manager to do it. Chelsea will get you the top players. We will negotiate the contracts and get the best players. It's not your job. And this is one of the things that Frank did. I'll give you an example. Kepa was a 75 million buy, right? This is what happened. So you guys, you ever been to the nightclub and like you got all these women over you and that, and you're laughing and joking and you're the main man and so forth. And then at the end of the night, the sexy Brazilian guy with the beard that you were making moves on, he's gone off with some guy from Liverpool, and you say to yourself, oh God, I'm not gonna get laid tonight. Let me see what I can get. Okay, I'll take you. And you take this Spanish and you pay him 75 million to get him. It wasn't the first choice that we got, but we got.
But that wasn't Frank.
I'm aware. I'm talking about Marina. All right. Yeah. I'm saying that she went clubbing. She went out to the club and she went and picked up this guy for 75 million. Okay. It was a mistake. She made a rash decision. Don't embarrass her by embarrassing him to the point that I can't work with him. I don't want him and so forth. What happens that now he goes from 75 million to 50 million? I can't stand him. He keep on making me 30 million. We can't sell Kappa. After Frank has been through him, we cannot sell Kappa for 15 million if we're lucky.
Well, but it also has to do with his performances.
Go ahead, Reef.
So why this? Okay, I understand where he's standing. We all see that. We all, the new manager have to work with Kappa. The new manager has to raise his fee from what is now back up. So he can do a Mendy and Kappa alternate, or Mendy and Kappa playing on a two different competition. One of them going to play for Champions League, and one of them going to play for AF Cup, and the other one play for the Premier League. But the point is, you have a new manager that you can raise his fee. If you play him, and he will play, and he can be better, and he play on the field better, people start to look at him again.
Being a manager, Shift, before I know you're going to say being a manager is putting your arms around the worst player and try to boost them up and so forth. You don't bring friction, because you know what? I'm buying you. I'm getting every top player that I can for you. All right. If it doesn't fit in your system, find a way to make it work. If you can't make it work, assume. Don't go to the media, man. Even the transfer, when our transfer ban was up, the first thing in the January window said, rah, these guys aren't buying anything for me. I ain't going to get anything. Come on. We're working secretly on the Carl Havertz deal. The Carl Havertz deal was 2 years in the making. And when you're working deals, I'll give you an example. Manchester United, Shift. Do you think Maguire was worth 80 million?
No.
Do you think Wan-Bissaka was worth 80 million?
No.
The reason is because when Manchester United wants you, okay, they inflate the price. No business, your Shift, your business, you're into business. No business person, when they're making deals, wants a mouth so that they jack the price up, or a mouth which lowers the value of that said player. You can't negotiate. How say you to Marina negotiation being hampered by Frank? Go ahead, Schiff.
Okay, first of all, can we go back to Kepa and say that, try and blame Frank for Kepa? Kepa messed up with his performances.
Yes.
Frank did not bring him up. Can we not say that we should play a player that is costing us goals just to raise his value?
No.
He was given a lot
agree.
of opportunities.
Yes.
He was given a lot of opportunities.
Right,
and
but you
he's
don't
a
bash him
professional.
for it. You try to say you
okay,
mitigate the situation. He
okay,
did.
so
He was a bit naive.
what is Frank? Yes, he was naive, but
Yeah.
should Frank just have played him because maybe we'll get more value out of him? No. If Frank played him and he lost a lot of games, what happens? He gets fired.
Okay.
Tuchel is not going to play Kepa just to raise his value.
He's not. I know, because the value can never come back again. The value is done. The value has been done. Frank has done his work, and with the aid.
I don't know why you're blaming Frank. Like, we had problems with Kepa and the Sari too, where he refused to come out.
Yes, he was right. Kepa didn't help himself. I agree with you 100%.
Kepa didn't. He's an adult man who's getting paid 150,000
I'm giving you an example of one of the reasons what he did was to devalue the work that Marina did. And
no, I think Marina bought the wrong plan. The player devalued himself. I don't know why you're blaming Frank for Kepa. That was all on Kepa.
Schiff, you're missing the whole point I'm trying to say. I'm giving you an example of how he antagonized the upper management, which led to his firing. One of the examples was his treatment and the way how he spoke about Kepa to the media, which did not help. He ended up embarrassing Marina for that. Kepa, yes,
should be embarrassed for that.
Kepa was a bad buy, yeah. But Schiff, you talk about CEO. You do not embarrass your CEO in the general public, even if he makes the biggest going. Right? Right. Yes. You end up somehow making an enemy and losing your job. Inevitable.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You're saying you should not pick fights with the upper management. What the hell did Tuchel do at PSG?
Pick fights with upper management.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not. Look, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen and so forth. It's the way how you go about it. And in this case, it has cost Frank in the same way as cost Tuchel at PSG. But we're not talking about that now.
I think part of the reason Frank was doing it the way he was because they weren't giving him another keeper, and he really wanted another keeper.
He was going to get one. Negotiation. Look, we ended up getting Mendy. That's what Czech stepped in again. It got to the point that Czech was on the training field. Czech was meant to be in the office, but he was on the training field trying to make peace.
Why did it take 4 games into the season to get Mendy? He was available. We should have gotten him earlier.
Hey. We don't know that if he wanted, what's the name? A car for his grandmother that we had to go in. We don't know the inside ends of the deals. The deals all the players' deals are wild. You know, he may have had, for example, he may have even had a dog. To take a dog into Britain, you have to put him in a quarantine greater for almost 6 months, greater than what's the name? Is it possible that he only had a year contract? So there's no point. And we're going through a time of COVID. We don't know these negotiations. So you, Frank, needs to slow your roll. Slow your roll, Frank. You know, I'll say it again. I'm going to break the myth of the man. I'm telling you right now, you know, all right? The British media have spent a lot of time boosting him up left, right, and center. Simple reason that he's one of our own. He's one of our own. And we don't have one of those in the top 6, so-called top 6 club. We don't have English managers in the top 6 club. It's all these foreign managers in our top 6 club. How say you to that, Schiff?
I mean, yeah, I do think the British media tend to prop up the British managers, and they definitely propped him up. I just think he was not ready for the job. I don't think he had enough experience for such a big job. He got it because nobody wanted to come in the middle of the transfer ban. And I hope he comes back again. He should have done what Stevie G is doing. Spend like 3-4 years at like he's at Rangers,
Glasgow
right?
Rangers. And
Glasgow Rangers.
Is not a small club. They are huge.
Yeah.
They are a massive club. All right.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
They're small compared to the Premier, right? Like it's all stayed at Derby for like 3-4 years, bring them up, and then go on. I think he thought he was belly too big for his boots, and made the move too early.
When Chelsea come knocking shift tomorrow, are you going to turn them down?
No.
Okay.
Go
ahead, Grief.
Steve, I'll tell you something. I understand what you need to do, like Stevie G doing right now and Ranger and everything. But John told you something. You get an opportunity. And it's going to be an opportunity of one of a lifetime. You don't know if you're going to manage against Chelsea or you're going to get manage, I don't know, any other club in the Premier League in the top. So you have to do the best with what you got, man. He got he got so much just to do the job, and he basically messed it up. And think about it: if you as an employee getting $250,000, $250,000 to do a job, and you're not doing it for X amount of time, and the only direction you're going down, think about if your boss going to keep you. Think about it for 5 seconds.
I mean, the amount of soccer I watch, and my boss still kicks me around.
You didn't wait for 5 seconds, Shift.
Sorry, I was trying to make a joke.
I know. About your boss, the amount of work that you're missing.
I mean, to be fair, I work very long hours. It's just like there's so much football to watch.
It is. It's a good thing, isn't it, COVID? Eh? Listen, on the serious side of things, yeah. I'm trying to tell you that. Look. This guy was given Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, Land Rovers, Range Rovers, Alfa Romeo. And yet still, he messed it up.
Yeah.
It reminds... Go ahead.
I just don't think I'll say this. I think he was too stubborn to try and play the way he wanted to play, and he didn't have the players for that.
How did he... Okay, let me... I know what you're talking... What did he...
Come on, Chief. How many excuses you give to a person of getting $250,000? Come on,
first of all,
you have to look at it from the point of the owner.
Yes,
$250,000. Please do the job.
What do you need? We'll get it for you.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I don't think they asked Frank what you need. We'll get it for you. Right, I think they told Frank, here are all these wonderful cars. Now do a job, which is what he's hired for.
Yes.
And a more experienced manager would have been able to adjust.
Thank you.
And I think that's where his shortcoming comes.
Yes.
He's an experienced manager and he could not adjust to what he was given.
Now, I'll say something. Don't get it twisted that, Frank is good with playing with the youth or with the academies. Let Frank go to Newcastle and see if he can play with their academy of a transfer ban. Again, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The Chelsea transfer ban is no hardship for Chelsea. It may be financially that we can't sell and buy and sell for players, but player-wise, it's no hardship. Even Bakayoko is a starter in Napoli. We have players galore. We have the best. Michael Amariando and those boys did a great job with loan deals, selling. And Torren Hazard's brother in Dortmund, Chelsea, studied in the Chelsea Academy and in the Chelsea loan system. We've had, there was a joke me and Dirk used to make during the World Cup in Brazil, that it was Chelsea that won the World Cup. Because at that time, half of the top winning teams in the World Cup were Chelsea players. From, at that time, we had KVB, we had Lukaku, all of these players play, or Chelsea. All coming through Chelsea, playing loan system or playing around Chelsea. Mo Salah. How many people have come from the Chelsea thing? And we can take another transfer ban and we still have the players. And when the transfer ban is gone, we can buy almost any player we want around the world. All you have to do is keep it smooth in the thing and keep it going forward, etc. and so forth. That's all you have to do. Schiff, how say you to that?
I mean, again, that's fine. I don't necessarily disagree. I think we've had very good players come through, but I do think like we lost our best player and we didn't have nearly the same class we did.
Listen,
right? Like you can keep on talking about like how so and so came from Chelsea and now they're playing at Fulham and Aston Villa, etc.
Right.
But like nobody's playing at
Right.
a top 10 team, top 10 team in the world.
No, all right. Let me throw something at you then. That so-called great player, how many hamburgers is he eating right now? Okay, thank you. All right. How many hamburgers is he eating right now as opposed to what he's done?
I will say it looks like Kepa was a better deal than Hazard.
She knows when to sell them. She knows when to hold them. She knows when to walk away. You don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. You don't mess with the gambler. She knows when to sell the players. She knows when to buy, who to buy, how to buy. Don't mess with her.
Steve, I tell you something. And if you're going back to the recording, you can see that I talk about Hazard going and everything. But you know what? You cannot fight with what's going on right now in the present. Look when Hazard. He's barely even playing.
Another one who was there last year with Fat Frank. Listen what Fat Frank had. He had William. Okay. He had Pedro. He had players. The cupboard was not bare. They didn't like.
What top 10 team are William and Pedro playing for consistently?
I'm sorry. Where's Roma? Where's Roma sitting right now? Thank you.
I'm saying top 10 in the world, not top 10 in each league.
It's not that you're missing. Look, you can't. Look, Frank messed up. He messed up not just a little. He messed up royally.
Not saying he didn't mess up, but we should also give him some appreciation for last season, getting us into Champions League this year. If we weren't in Champions League this year, we would not have been able to get the players we did. Why would Werner and Havertz
again? I'm trying to tell you that what we had, all he did was messing it up, trying to get there. If the Bruno Fernandes didn't come to push Manchester United and that's stepping, we were not suffering. We would not have suffered. We had players. He wasn't playing Giroud at one stage. It was trying to, and Tammy had reached his peak, and so it was. Look, sort your life out, Frank.
I think his life is sorted.
Yeah, I know.
How much money did he get to
not much,
this job?
Only 2 million. That's very low. Very low. They didn't exercise the option. He never got the chance. Hey, look. Let's counter the myth of what the British media is saying, because Sky, because Redknapp, his cousin Jamie Redknapp said, look, and he played with Rio Ferdinand and all those boys and stuff. The reality of the matter is he was bad. Statistically, he was real bad. and secondly, it's karma, because what he said to AVB, when AVB was playing that high line, etc., and John Terry couldn't get his old backside back to defend, and then they fired AVB, and Frank is sitting there, that AVB, he don't know what he's doing. He's naive. Look at you now. Look at you now. Gentlemen, how say you to Tuku being hired and what you expect from Tuku? Go ahead, Schiff.
I expect him to be fired in 18 months.
Okay, fine. All right, let's go ahead.
All right, I'll say this. I think we're going to have a different style. I think we're going to, based on today's game and how I've seen him in other teams, he's going to have a higher possession football than Frank. Frank wanted slow build up and penetration, while I think Tuchel's going to be more possession and more like City, I guess, right? And that means we're going to see a lot more of Jorginho, which I'm not happy about, right? And I think we're going to see a lot more of Rudiger. I think we're going to, I don't know.
I think he's going.
I want
I
to.
believe he's going to rotate the squad a lot more than you'd be surprised about. But go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I think he'll rotate the squad. Maybe I don't know. I think I'm going to give him time to look at the squad and see what's best for it because he's an experienced manager who will adjust to what he has. I've got a feeling he's going to go to two up top at some point to get the best out of Werner. And I think we have
So
the
one second,
players.
Chief. Today game versus Wolf, he did not been a manager yet?
He was the manager, but he just
but
arrived. He just got here yesterday. He got to England. He landed yesterday in the daytime
so,
and went to training at night.
So he only had one session with them, and what
At
he
6
said
o'clock
was
at night.
yeah, he tried to pick the team with the most experience, right? Like he left out, like apart from I think Havertz and Ziyech, everyone there had a lot more experience.
Yep.
He picked the more experienced players so
Yep.
that they understand things a little bit
Yep.
better. Give him a little bit of time. He'll adjust and he'll make a new formation. So let's see. I've got a feeling he's going to go two up top. I don't know why, but I like looking at the players. That's what I would do.
Okay, Reef, how say you to Tuku? TT, as he is.
Okay, first thing,
T-squared.
I don't know a lot of information about him. I don't really watch the French league so much. So I know that he's been in PSG. I know that he's got fired. So he's managing a big club as a PSG. He's just give us more experience, as you said. But we see what's going to happen. I'm excited for the future. I'm sad about the things is changed, but you know what? If this going to move Chelsea from 9th place in about 5 weeks from now, or 6
He has. We're now, what are we? We're 8th now.
No, we're 9th place, no?
We're 8th.
Oh, because the tie.
We're 8th.
Yeah.
We've moved up from 10th to 8th.
Yeah. So if we're going to move in like 4 or 5 or 6 weeks from now to top 4, absolutely, I'm excited about it. If Chiefs say like it's going to be 2 up top, and one of them is going to be Giroud, I'm happy.
All
And
right.
let it be Giroud or Tammy and Werner or Pulisic paying off him.
Gentlemen, the question.
Why you don't like Giroud, John? Why you don't like Giroud?
Oh, I love Giroud, man. Are you kidding me?
Everybody loves
Love
Giroud.
Giroud. Let me throw this. So, gentlemen, let me ask you the question. Are you all sitting over there sipping on juice?
Oh yeah.
Because that's what we're here for, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the Chelsea manager is at the end of the day. As long as we're in Champions League, as long as we're winning the Premier League, as long as we're winning the FA Cup, we're cheering and supporting. Are we not? This is who we are. We're sitting over there sipping on juice. All right. With that, there you go. With that being said, down in Florida, Reef, say goodbye to the good folks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Excellent. We're going to move straight up to New York City. Good captain, something for the folks.
Bye, folks. And I still think I'm going to miss Frank.
Okay, good for you. I will not miss Frank. Again, like I said, it takes courage to be Chelsea's manager. I'll give him that. He did the best that he could with his limited experience, but it just was not good enough. And he got in his own way of success, which he could have had. For all of us, next week, this is what we're going to do, right? This is what we're going to do the ranking. And when we get to C for Chelsea, we're basically going to just give a genetic grade, etc. But we're going to do all the rest of the 19 managers. We'll be at the halfway stage by then. Tomorrow's game is before I go, tomorrow's game is Spurs versus Liverpool. Predictions, score, Schiff.
2-1 Spurs. 2-0, sorry, 2-0.
Oh, not even, you're not going to even hang on. You're not saying that none of Liverpool are going to score. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They're not, the way they're playing, they're not going to score.
Wow. Reef, give me a score, please, for the people.
Okay, Steve, sit down because you need to sit down. 3-1 for Liverpool. And I say Salah scoring 2 and Mane scoring 1.
Oh, snap. Gentlemen, just before, what's the name? Before that, after that weekend, before we meet again, Arsenal are going to play Man United before we
Hold
meet.
on, your prediction.
My prediction? My prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw, which is a win for Mourinho.
It's either going to be 0-0 or 2-0.
No, you can't have, listen, you can't have, no. You can't have both of that, man. You can't have a draw. What's that? You said 2-0. You even took a goal away from Liverpool.
Yeah,
Step aside.
I'm saying if it's a draw, it'll be a 0-0 draw. Otherwise, Spurs are winning. Liverpool just don't look good.
Manchester United. No. Manchester United versus Arsenal will be played before we meet again. Schiff, give me a score.
1-1.
Reef, give me a score.
At the moment, as it's falling, I said 2-1 Arsenal.
Reef, I agree with you. 2-1 to the Arsenal. Believe it or not. All right, folks. Next week, we're doing the rankings of the managers, all 19 from the halfway stage. You can see us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at A Hint of Blue Cheese. You can email us at bluecheese1905@yahoo.com. That's bluecheese1905@yahoo.com. You can see our website is www.bluecheese.com. Yeah, we're on the internet. Find us. All right, guys. We'll all see you folks from next week. See you next time.